Back at Lowe's Motor Speedway, Concord, North Carolina, NASCAR Nationwide Series. For the second time tonight, we are under a red flag because of weather that has moved in. Cars are parked on pit road, and they are halted here at lap 83 of 200. Have you ever wondered how you get discovered to become a big-time NASCAR driver to make it into the Nationwide Series or NASCAR Sprint Cup? Well, one of the great stories this week was the 22-year-old Justin Allgaier, the young man from Riverton, Illinois, and is getting a chance tonight to make a debut in this series with Roger Penske. And Jamie's down there.
And I'm talking to him. I said, we're getting to document your first experience in a Nationwide car tonight. How's it been so far, Justin?
Well, it's definitely been hectic, but all the guys in this Penske truck rental Dodge have been great. We've made the first pit stop there and made some adjustments. Been really tight, but just trying to avoid all the wrecks. We've had some crazy things happen in front of us, and especially that last wreck there, we got really lucky to miss it on the inside. So, you know, we've just been biding our time, riding is about as good as we can get, and it's been a good night so far.
7 wins in the ARCA series. How did this all come about with Roger Penske? How did he discover you and boom, put you in this car so quickly?
Well, to be honest with you, I'm not sure how he discovered me, but this has really been real quick. And, you know, Roger and his organization, when you have such a big organization like he does, they're able to move quicker than most teams would be able to. So it's been a great opportunity for me. I've loved the Charlotte racetrack for a long time, so to get my first start here really felt good, and to mix it up with these guys. I mean, you know, a lot of the Cup guys like to run this race, and feel like we've been able to run with a lot of them and be ahead of some of them. So we hope we can stay on the lead lap here and get up to the front and hopefully contend up a little bit farther in the front.
Certainly a name we need to take note of. Doc, what a great job he's done tonight avoiding some of those big wrecks, as he noted.
He certainly has, and boy, can Roger Penske spot talent. A young man who's trying to get his career started, and to a champion, Jimmie Johnson, who has certainly established himself as a great driver on the track, and what a humanitarian off the track. Early in the year, he and his wife Shandy went out for the Jimmie Johnson Foundation golf tournament to raise money in El Cajon to help build houses for Habitat for Humanity, and they were able to present the keys recently to a very grateful family.
There's a place I've been looking for that took me in and out of buildings, behind windows, walls, and doors.
It feels amazing to know that this is my home and that I'll be cooking dinner in the kitchen and I'll be cleaning up after my kids, and I'll be happy to do that. I'll be so grateful. I will appreciate every board and nail that we put into this house.
It's one thing for us to have the vision, but we're not here to pull it off. And it takes people to believe in what we're doing, what our foundation's about, to help put it all together, and they've all supported us.
And I didn't know those people like this, people that just gave so much of themselves to change our lives and give us a better future for my children.
To meet the family, to meet our children, to hand Carol the key to the door, to actually have your heart feel for someone and to see how it's going to impact their lives really means a lot.
It's the best breeze right here in the porch. I think maybe that's my favorite part, is just knowing that I'm sitting in front of my own porch here. This is my house. I'm still a little bit in shock, so I just don't want to wake up.
So I know the building is one thing, but what's the handing over of the key like to the folks when you guys get that finished?
It was so special. A great family. We've named the second family that's going to move into the second home that we're building there, and 4 in total when we're all said and done. And there's nothing better than that. We've worked so hard to raise the money and have had a lot of great support from fans, family, sponsors, all that stuff. A great event that we held out in California last 2 years actually, and to see it all come together and give someone the keys, there's nothing better than that.
All right, let's go to racing here. This run, not as good as you were a little earlier. There was a certain edginess to your car that went away a little bit, but you lost a lot of track position.
Man, I just have this death wobble. I don't know what else to call it. Once we got going there, I mean, it was terrible. Way loose, but from the sounds of it, other guys have had some problems. The 17 thought he had a flat because his car was so loose. So it doesn't help my situation, but it makes me feel a little bit better about it. And who knows, maybe we're getting a handle on something for tomorrow night.
Pit stop coming up, by the way. What would you like them to try to change on this race car?
About 7 rounds of wedge, maybe an inch down on the track bar, bump the right front up about 6 pounds, and then we might be close.
Andy Petrie, can we get that done on one pit stop on a nationwide race?
That's a big adjustment right there. That tells me he's really loose.
Well, he had his hands full right before this caution came out, and they stopped him with a red flag. He has been a part of 9 double-duty weekends here at Charlotte. 3 wins, all 3 of those wins coming in the NASCAR Sprint Cup car, 10 top 10s. You see the average finish, better, much better in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series than the NASCAR Nationwide Series. He has never won here at Charlotte in the Nationwide car. Some of the diehard fans just covered up a little bit, trying to stay out of the elements here as we are just 17 laps away from halfway. Under the second red flag tonight here at the NASCAR Nationwide Series race at Lowe's Motor Speedway. Kyle Busch, the 4th different leader of the night. Carl Edwards, Joey Logano, Jeff Burton, Kevin Harvick, and David Reagan, the top 6. There is Kyle's number 18 car. The 88 car, Brad Keselowski, who finished 3rd here back in the spring, started back in 30th, but has been moving his way up. Mike.
Yeah, and he's all the way up to 13th now, Doc. But you heard him radio in not too long ago saying it's, about an 8 loose? What's it like driving that car?
Well, it's a little bit of handful right now, but the way the Nationwide cars drive with the smaller plate and all that, they got to be loose to be fast. So it's just a little too much right now. I feel like we're one adjustment away from being able to take the U.S. Navy Chevrolet up to the top 5.
And thinking back to the spring, I mean, this is the same car you had that almost went to victory lane. How's it driving tonight compared to the way you remember the spring race going?
Just a little bit looser, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if the track's changed. I think we're really close on the setup, but we worked really hard on this car. Everyone at Junior Motorsports, and I got to thank them for that. And we worked on getting the front end to work, so it's working. Just got to get a little bit more rear grip, and I think we can run with them.
Well, Doc, you heard him say that he feels like he's maybe one adjustment away from getting this car right where he needs it to be. And remember, back in the spring, he was certainly a guy to watch as they went for the checkers.
Mike, he had the fastest car here in the final 30 laps of that race in the spring. And not only has the car gotten strong, this young man, with the help of Pop Fury, the guy to his left there, who helped lead Dale Earnhardt Jr. to 2 championships and then what was then the NASCAR Busch Series. This young man has won twice this year, but this whole team has come a long way. And it has been quite a journey for Junior Motorsports before and after they were able to get a hold of Brad Keselowski. Lap 1, turn 1, and there goes the 88 car, the Navy Chevy, up across the racetrack.
I need to get finishes under my belt as an owner. We were losing money and spending money hand over fist, and we were just going through so much inventory. I just had to get to where I could finish some races because we were going down. We were sinking shit. I talked to Brad at Bristol. He talked about his team and how it was built and what the issues were, to how to get it better, and he understood it really well. I could tell that he could see what was going on around him and was pretty intelligent, so that was great. Plus he had a decent ability on the racetrack as a driver, period. And so that's what we needed. That's exactly what we needed. So he fit right in.
And there's Brad Keselowski getting his first of 3 consecutive rides in the car owned by Dale Earnhardt Jr.
I was lucky to get the opportunity that I've gotten by starting out with a smaller team, that maybe I've learned some lessons that have made me better and more prepared for this opportunity.
You got to think Dale Earnhardt Jr. is real proud of this guy. This is exactly what he was looking for, somebody to be solid and bring this car home.
It took me a while to convince people that Brad was better than his statistics. He was definitely going to be an improvement and a way for this company to get its head above water. The team overall has stepped it up from last year. I contribute a lot of that to Brad and him just growing up. I feel like everyone's starting to kind of see what I'm seeing, that he's got a good amount of talent.
The whole time he's been there and been supportive and like, what can we do to get better? Maybe we ought to look at this or that. And, he's just always there and always thinking about it, which is really cool to have an owner like that.
They have come a long way, both the race team and this young race driver from Rochester Hills, Michigan. And the rest of the story, well, it was all upward in this team this year. Nashville, Tennessee on the concrete in Music City. In his 49th career start, Brad Keselowski became a first-time winner and got that coveted Gibson guitar. And then all the way from 37th starting spot in Bristol, Tennessee, once again on the concrete. He makes the pass, a points leader Clint Boyer, and would come home with win number 2. And here are the current point standings. He was second at the time in the points. He's had some struggles down the stretch, but he's currently back in third position behind Boyer and Edwards. So for only a second-year driver, first full year in the circuit, not bad at all to find himself third overall in the standings. And behind him, a full-time NASCAR Nationwide Series, Mike Bliss, having a good year. Shannon.
Doc, I think we figured out the key to making the rain stop. Just get the drivers out of the car, because as soon as they do, the rain miraculously goes away. But talking with Mike Bliss, started in the back of the field. You're now in the top 10. You told me before the race started that one of the things you were concerned about was just finding the balance on this car. How has it been so far in the race?
It isn't bad. It's not, you know, we're all pretty free at the start of the run. It's not crashing free, you know, and it runs real good throughout the run. It's a good car. Our Miccosukee Chevrolet is pretty fast. It seems to be better about lap 10 on. So I'm kind of excited to get going here. This rain's it's not raining hard enough, but it's just raining hard enough.
Yeah, we were taking a look at the infield, the grass here, the Bojangles sign that's been destroyed. That was, you were involved in that. Tell me what happened back on lap 7. You have a little bit of damage on the front and the back.
Yeah, I think it was Jeff Green. I don't know, he was just real, he was all right in 1 and 2. He got real slow in 3 and 4, and I think he was too loose. But when I got hit from the rear and kind of hit him, and then I let off, and I finally tried to drive around him, and I guess I tried to drive through him. I didn't want to get wrecked, and because they were beating on me. But, you know, we really are trying real hard to get James his first win here, and this is his 500th start, and it'd be great to win a race.
And when we go back to green, you'll be able to check out the cool paint scheme on this car for the 500th start of James Finch. Jamie?
It does look really good, Shannon. I'm joined now by Clint Boyer, and he sits 11th right now, and he's like, we need to get this thing going because I need to move to the front. But your radio's been really colorful, so what's going on between you and Mike Dillon?
Well, I'm trying to tell him that the car's too loose, but he doesn't want me to talk because he thinks I need to be focused on racing. But
he said you're faster when you stop talking.
I know it. It's a little status report for the BB&T Chevrolet. We're still loose. We need to get it tightened up. We're going to take a little bit bigger jump at it here, and you know, it's hard. You got to be conservative with a little bit, but we need to go ahead and make a big adjustment here, and hopefully we'll put some wedge in it here and just get it calmed down. It's way too loose, you know, all the way through the corner. Whether it be getting in and pulling on the wheel or getting back on the gas, it's just too loose all the way through.
This track is real temperature sensitive. It's really cooled down. The wind is picked up and the rain has stopped, and we got a pretty good shower. Will that change the track much for you?
I sure hope it makes my car a lot faster than the rest of them so I can get back up through them, but I just hope we get it in. I need more laps than 20. I hope we can get past the halfway, get another fuel load in, you know, at least fuel run here, but we're working on it. We're going the wrong way. We need to be moving forward, not backwards.
The points leader, Clint Boyer, wants to move forward and get this thing going, Doc.
Well, Jamie, on the track, Clint Boyer likes to drive new cars, but off the track, it's all about wheeling the classics.
I am Clint Boyer. I grew up going to car shows, and 49 Mercury was the car that I wanted. It's a Mercury, but it's a full custom. It's black, of course. If it ain't black, take it back. Nick Pastor, that paints my helmets, flew out there and painted flames on it. We looked and found a 49 original dash. It's just a neat looking dash. It blows flames out the exhaust. We actually amplified that program a little bit. It's got all the comforts of a new car, Bentley or whatever else. It's just old school and my style. I am Clint Boyer.